one of the things that we do that steals our sense of balance is we don't personally have realistic expectations of ourselves.
Boy,
Right?
true as that.
So I'll tell you a little story where and it's worse, right? In the day of social media, Pinterest, right? Like I'm supposed to be having these soirees for my kids' birthday parties, and I'm supposed to be making like this homemade beautiful cake. So my youngest, who is now in 8th grade, I have 3 kids, right? And he's my youngest. He's in kindergarten. I had a 2nd grader and maybe a 6th grader, if I'm doing the math correctly, real quickly. But we had 3 open houses to get to. Okay. And so my husband's out of town and I pull in, it's like from 4:30 to 6:30, right? And I pull in, walk into the classroom. I'm on 2 wheels high. It's like 6:15 and I'm like feeling accomplished that I'm there. I'm in my 3rd one and I've got my school supplies in my dollar store bag and my Walmart bag, right? And I walk in feeling so accomplished and I put the supplies on his little table and I look over and there's this beautiful designer, no lie, monogrammed bag, right? With the kid's monogram. The kid is 5 or 6 with these beautifully displayed name brand, like Crayola. And I'm like going to the dollar store, right? And I'm just happy that I even remembered to bring them. And in that moment, I felt guilt and shame, right? Where did that come from? My kid didn't care. He could have cared less what shape or form or box or covering. But in that moment, I felt shame and I had to keep in check who mattered, whose opinion matters here. My kid didn't care. I looked at the teacher and my daughter had had the same teacher, so I knew her well. And I said, first kid in school? And she laughed and she said, yes. And I said, we are just lucky to be here, right? But I think that's what we do is suddenly I felt like I didn't measure up in my role as a mom because I was engaging in comparison. And so what I had to remind myself in that moment is whose expectations matter and are my expectations of myself realistic? And so I asked myself those things and I'm like, okay, gut check, right? Like, this is okay. And so I think key to your point is, right, that's freeing when we realize whose expectations matter and are they realistic? And sometimes we're really our own worst enemy.